Hey you guys, welcome back. So today's video is going to be our monthly hits and misses. This month is actually packed with hits and misses. The last time I did one of these, I don't believe we had any misses, but this time we've got a few. And not last month, like the end of July, I didn't do one because I was out of town. And I also realized that I kind of had two videos where one was like my drugstore, like current obsessions drugstore, and then current high-ends, which kind of was similar. So that's why I didn't do one for the end of the month. I don't want this intro to be too long, so let's get diving right into it. I have 3 skincare products I wanted to talk to you guys about. These are actually products that I know work for my skin, and I had a really bad bout of breakouts right after I got back from vacation. So I stopped using anything that was like new in my skincare collection, and I went back to what I know does not break me out, what I know works on my skin. So I wanted to share those products with you guys because I do have a couple of products in here that are for people with acne prone skin. The very first product that I wanted to speak about, which I don't know that I've spoke about this before, and this is the CEO Vitamin C and Turmeric Face Oil. This is by Sunday Riley. I started off with 1 to 2 drops into my moisturizer, and then I moved it up to putting it actually on my hand and then pressing it into my skin. I find the best time that it works for me is at night, and I really love the way that it feels on my skin. Next morning, I wake up, my skin is so hydrated, it's not sticky, it dries down really nicely actually. Like when you first put it on, it does feel like it's not seeping into the skin, but once you put your moisturizer over it, like it just dries down really nicely and your skin feels hydrated and it feels really soft and glowy. I actually was talking to one of my subscribers and they were asking me if I could do kind of like a breakdown of all the products I've tried from all the acne medications that are out there and what my thoughts were, how did they work, did they not work, and you know, kind of put everything into one video. So that was my plan. It is going to take me a little bit of time because I've tried so much in my years that I've struggled with acne. But if that's something that you guys want to know about, let me know down below. But I do have 2 products that I do want to talk to you guys about because I actually want to get your opinion on them. So the first one I actually just recently mentioned this in my Sephora wish list, so I don't want to speak too much about it, so make sure to check that one out because I talk in depth about it. But it is the Ordinary Salicylic Acid, and this is the 2% solution. Comes in a little dropper like this. You really do not need a whole lot. I usually use this after I tone my skin. I'll apply a little bit on my fingers, and then I'll kind of just dab it right on the skin. When I had my bad bout of breakouts, I spent 2 or 3 days really honing in on my skin, really making sure that I was really not putting any makeup on it, trying to figure out what was going on, just letting my skin breathe. And I put this up to 3 times a day. I think there was one day where I used it 3 times that day, morning, lunch, and night. And my breakout by the next day was gone. But the issue with this is because it is a salicylic acid solution, it will dry out quite intensely, which is why I then had to go in with a face oil. The other one I wanted to try because I've heard really positive reviews. People have asked me, I've never tried it, so I started using it. And this is the DIFFERIN gel. I don't think that this has anything to do with it because by the time I was using it and I started breaking out, it had already been like 6-7 weeks, and I figured if I was gonna break out from it, like kind of purge my skin kind of thing, I feel like it would have been sooner. So I think this isn't it, but I have been waiting to get back onto this until my skin's cleared up, but this is actually something that has worked on me. It actually did work. When I was using it every day, I noticed that I was breaking out less often, and the one that I used it the most on was in my chin because I do get hormonal breakouts on my chin now. It used to just be on my cheeks, but now it's on my chin, and I find that if I put this on my chin once a day, the amount of breakouts I get is very, very minimal, even really more so right around like my period time. I find that my breakouts just aren't as bad as it used to be. So want to know your thoughts down below. If you guys have tried this, let me know what you guys think. I do know that they have like a cleanser and some of their other stuff, which I haven't dove into yet, but if you guys suffer from acne, these 2 are 2 products that I feel like have really worked on me. I'm going to throw this in here because I do have one hair care product that I wanted to talk about with you guys that's actually a flop. So this is the Ion Color Solutions Intense Moisture Conditioner. And I was looking for a conditioner and I wanted to try it out. This one looked really affordable. The girl at Sally's was like, it's a great product, try it out. This stuff stripped my hair so bad. So I stopped using the shampoo, but then I noticed that my son and my daughter were both using it, and when I would do their hair in the morning, it was so dry. I had to go in with a hair serum to put in both of my kids' hair because their hair was so dry and brittle from this thing. So I don't know. The girl at Sally's was like, I swear by this. It works so well in my hair. Luckily, this wasn't very expensive. It was less than like $10 or $11, but I ended up just getting rid of it, and I went back to my Kenra, and my hair feels so much better. So now let's move into makeup. I did film a what's in my makeup bag and like my travel essentials and stuff like that. And this is actually one of the palettes I told you guys I wanted to take with me on my trip. I did end up taking it with me, and I loved every freaking look that I created using this palette. Some of my favorite colors were Valkyrie that I used a lot on my lid, which looks like that. I also did use Pandora, another beautiful color. And now that we're getting into the fall months, if you guys are looking for a good fall palette, this is a really good alternative to have. It's very affordable. It's like under 20 bucks. Definitely recommend it. Moving into a blush, my number one blush I have to say that I could not get enough of was the Topshop blush. This is one to have. It really makes it feel like your cheeks are just pinched, and I really like it. You can make it really light, you can make it really dark. It's a very soft formula. It stays on the cheeks very long, and I've never had a problem with it. The only thing I would say that their downfall is that, I mean, like, I have never seen Topshop makeup. I'm sure you can buy it online, but if you're like walking around and you see a Topshop store, walk in and get the blush because it's really good. This year has got to be the year of concealers and foundations. Am I right? A couple of concealers I wanted to talk about. The first one I wanted to mention is the Stay Naked Correcting Concealer. Played around with this one. This is 40 NN, which is what I use to highlight underneath my eyes. I do think that this is a good concealer, but this is definitely a lighter formula concealer. This, to me, is very, very reminiscent of the Naked Skin concealers. It's got really great pigment to it. It does not oxidize, which is very nice. And the nice thing about it too is that it pairs really nicely with a bunch of other powders also. So it's not testy at all. It's really good. And again, I just had to figure out how to use it right, and I found that the brush was the right way to go. Then we move into the Covergirl True Blend Undercover Concealers. So I have two here because they sent me these in PR, but the ones that they sent me were really dark on me. So I ended up having to pick up Buff Beige 150. This is actually what I'm wearing underneath my eyes today. So this is Buff Beige 150. Together, when I blend both of the colors together, this is the shade that I get. Here's the only thing I found with this product is that it does dry really quickly. I know some people like to wait a few seconds in between from applying the concealer to blending it out, and I find that you can't do that with this one because this one does tend to dry pretty quickly. I do like it for underneath my eyes, but I love it so much more for, like I said, spot concealing. So I did want to update you guys on the Stay Naked foundation. This here is the shade 50 NN, which is what I use. So I wanted to talk to you guys about this because we did do a first impressions like I mentioned earlier, and I told you guys that I wanted to play around with it a little bit more and get a really good feel and understanding for how it sits. It has a really nice, pleasant smell. It's not super fragrant or anything like that, which is what I like. The other thing I like about it is I do find that their shade selection is really good. I love that they have a really, you know, intensive shade selection. And I feel like this shade match right here is like perfect. 50 NN is like right where I'm at. It doesn't feel heavy on the skin, but it covers and you can build it. I spoke about this on Twitter, but the only issue I had on this foundation is I'm very nervous that this might be a product that's breaking me out. I stopped using this for about 2 weeks now, which saddens me because I really love this foundation. It is so freaking good. But I started looking into ingredient lists because I was like, okay, what is in this product that is so different from the other foundations that I use that do not break me out? But just in general, you don't realize how much bad stuff is in foundation until you go into ingredient lists. The only thing I can think of, but it doesn't make any sense, is that this one starts with water and then dimethicone is the next one. But dimethicone is also in the other foundations that I use, but it's not in the first top 2 items. I haven't figured out if this completely breaks me out yet. I can't figure out if it is the dimethicone, which I personally don't think it is because I have other products with dimethicone in them that don't, you know, break me out. But if it is, then I'm screwed because I love it. But if it isn't, then I'm excited because it doesn't break me out. I'm still working on it, but I wanted to give you guys an update. I did want to mention that to you, but if you guys don't have acne prone skin, this might be something that might, you know, interest you. The other product I wanted to mention was another product I tested out in my BoxyCharm, and I was very unhappy with it. It is the BECCA Hydra Mist Set and Refresh Powder. Hated it when I used it with my brush. I thought it was terrible. I did not like it. It's a very interesting feeling, just a very interesting feeling because it goes on cooling, almost wet feeling, but then it dries down to a matte finish. I started using it with a sponge, and I find that the sponge is the best way to apply it. I still do not like it on my cheeks. I feel like it actually takes off some of my foundation, so I don't like putting it on my cheeks, but using a sponge, using this underneath my eyes definitely gives you a blurred effect, and now I'm sold. All right, so the last product I have is a mascara. It is the Revlon So Fierce Mascara. And this is what it looks like, and then it does have a rubber wand as well. The nice thing about this one is that it's matte black. It has a nice finish. It stays on the lid. It stays on the lashes really nicely. It doesn't transfer onto the face, which is nice, but it separates and it lengthens your lashes really, really nicely. I like a lot of volume in mine, but I will say that I love this one to separate and lengthen my lashes, especially my lower lashes. And then I go in with like a volumizing mascara. So if you like more lengthening and more like, you know, you want your lashes to be very separated and really long, this is definitely something to try. I was really pleasantly surprised, honestly. Like when I first saw this and I opened it, I was like, this is like a standard mascara. Like it didn't look very exciting at all. But then when I like applied it on my lower lashes and my top lashes, I was like, holy cow, this thing is working so good. So I just wanted to give a shout out to this one because this mascara is actually really fabulous. So that is everything. I feel like I've talked your ears off about so much in such a little amount of time, but I hope you guys liked this month's video. I appreciate you guys staying with me all the way through, watching it with me, and let me know down below in the comments what your thoughts are on some of these products. If you guys are new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me today, and make sure to hit that subscribe button. I hope to see you guys on my next video. I upload on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at 6 p.m. Central, and I will see you guys then. Bye.